get started because I want to honor everyone that was on time. And hello, Linda, New England wedding photographer, another student. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and share. I'm so not good with technical stuff. So please let me know if you could see my screen. Henry, give me a thumbs up if you can see my presentation. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so what are idea pins on Pinterest? We're going to be covering that, what they are, and also why you should be using them in 2021. I think that's really important. Go ahead and feel free to put information in the chat. I tend to get on a roll. I'm quite passionate about Pinterest, and I want to make sure that everybody leaves today with education so that they're more knowledgeable. And hopefully, if you've done your homework, you'll actually leave by having an idea pin pinned to your Pinterest page. That's the goal. So if I miss a question, I promise I will get to them for sure. But I definitely wanted to go ahead and share that with you first. So my name is Jen Vazquez. I am a marketing and Pinterest strategist, and I help female entrepreneurs go from overwhelmed with trying to do all the things to a streamlined system that is tailored to them and how they prefer to work to unleash the power of marketing and grow their business. I think that's super important. You should not be on Pinterest for grins and giggles. You should be on Pinterest because you want to get your ideal clients to find you. That is the whole purpose, right? And so that's what we will be focused on today. If you haven't already, put your name and where you're from and your business in the comments. Next, I'm very, very, very passionate about every single entrepreneur to use Pinterest as a part of their marketing strategy because it's free, and FYI, it's super, super effective if you're using it in the right way. So you are here today for a masterclass, and I always like to make sure of this. If you are here to learn about the most effective pins on Pinterest, you're in the right place. But you're not in the right place if you are not going to be using Pinterest as part of your marketing strategy. I wouldn't want you to waste your time. If you have an open mind and you are willing to listen and then judge if you're going to be using Pinterest, stick around because I think I might talk you into it, but that's just me. Okay, so make sure that you write any questions down in the chat. And if I've already gotten to them by the time we get to those questions, then I'll say so, or answer in a way that makes sense for you. Or I'll get to them basically before we take action and create an idea pin. So the way that we're going to work today is we're going to learn about idea pins and Pinterest. And we're going to actually create an idea pin if you've done your homework. And if you haven't done your homework, stick around because then at least you'll be able to see how it's done and you can go and do it after this class or sometime this week. So what are you going to be learning today? Today, you are going to leave with the understanding of why you should be using Pinterest, why idea pins are the best pins to use. You want to use all the other pins, don't get me wrong. But if you want the biggest bang for your analytical buck, that's going to be in an idea pin. Mistakes not to make when using idea pins. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs on Pinterest making this mistake, typically from old advice that they received. You know, Pinterest changes all the time, and you want to make sure that you are up to date with current Pinterest trends. As a hint, if you're using hashtags, that's old information. You don't want to use hashtags. So that's an example of making sure you have up-to-date Pinterest information. You're going to actually learn how to create and make an idea pin if you've done your homework, or you're going to see what I do so that you can do it after. And you're going to also learn the most effective way to use Pinterest as part of your marketing strategy. And hint, hint, it's going to be what I'm pitching today. Most master classes have a pitch. Mine's going to be quick and easy, but it is why I'm doing this class. And I like to be completely upfront and honest about that. All right. Why Pinterest? I always like to talk about this because people hear that they need to be on Pinterest and they know that Pinterest works for some people, but it takes too much time, it's too complicated, and you don't want to have to like deal with all of that. And I totally get it. But I'm going to make sure that if nothing else, that you understand why Pinterest is so effective for your marketing. So there are 478 million monthly users on Pinterest. 478 million people are on Pinterest every single month to find ideas, to inspire their next purchase. And if Pinterest were a country, it would actually surpass the United States as the third largest country in the world, which is a little insane. 60% of people on Pinterest are women globally. 35% of the US millennial pinners are on there year over year. So 35% of all Pinterest users are millennials. If that's your ideal client, you should be on Pinterest. Male pinners and Gen Zers are 40% year over year on this platform. And 45% of people in the US with a household income of over $100,000 a year are on Pinterest. 45% of them. That's huge. If your product or service is a higher ticket item, you need to be on Pinterest. Absolutely. So Pinterest co-founder Evan Sharp famously said that Pinterest may be the last positive corner of the internet. And he said, and that really matters more now than ever, as you can imagine. So we asked, or I should say Pinterest asked a research firm to, and it was actually TalkShop, if you wanted to know the details, but they asked them to dig into that particular state of mind among the pinners, which is really hard to recreate in a consumer tech. And the results were really eye-opening. 9 out of 10 pinners, which is almost everyone, described Pinterest as filled with positivity. And 85% said Pinterest is where they go when they want to start a new project. Only 26% had the same to say about other social media programs, and they're talking about Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and YouTube. So basically everyone's saying that it's the most positive corner of the social media platform. And the thing that is really, really exciting in all of that sort of research was that people go back and go back and go back to Pinterest time and time again. So as an example, 16-year-olds are pinning wedding inspiration to boards that they end up looking at when they actually get engaged and start to plan a wedding. So your content can live on there for years and years and years and years. So you want to be their next great find, and you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of Pinterest before everyone is on there. This is like, even though Pinterest has been around forever, a lot of people in terms of marketing don't want to try to figure out how to do it in an easy way. And because of that, you have more reach than on any other social media platform. For me, 533 sessions, this is approximately each month, are from Pinterest to my website. Facebook's the next one at 150, and Instagram combined is a little over 12%. That's huge because you probably found me on Instagram, right? Instagram is where we spend all our time and we do all this work. And yet Pinterest gives me more opportunity for clients to work with me. Let that settle in just a bit. Type in the chat if you have a business Pinterest account, because I'm really curious if you have a business Pinterest account. And also, if you have a business Pinterest account, write in there if you've claimed your Pinterest, your website on Pinterest. And if you haven't, run, don't walk, to fix that as soon as possible, because marketing in any fashion without analytic information is like driving blindfolded. So you don't want to be doing that. So make sure that those two things are done. So I get this question all the time. Well, if I have to spend time on Pinterest, like where should I be spending my time right now? And if you look at Instagram, right, Reels, everyone's talking about Reels, like it's not a secret. Instagram wants you to do videos, right? For Pinterest, it's idea pins. And a lot of people discount idea pins because they don't have a link that goes to their website. But what my analytics just proved is that that doesn't discount people from actually getting more information from you. So in an idea pin, even though there's not a link, everybody is trained on Pinterest to click on a pin if they find it useful information and they want more information. That is how Pinterest people are trained, pinners are trained, right? When they click on there, it takes them to your Pinterest profile, which right at the top, if you've claimed your website, is the easiest way for them to find you on your website, to find them, to be able to get more information about you. So idea pins is my answer for that. Idea pins have been around since around May of 2021. Excuse me, they've been around for 6 months or so, and they've been in beta. So like the United States could get them, parts of the United States couldn't get them, part of Canada couldn't get them, because it was all in beta and they were kind of rolling it out. So now that it's out of beta and it's being launched everywhere, you can get them in Canada now and many other countries, too many for me to like mention at the moment, and it changes all the time. But on May 18th of 2021, Pinterest told us that they are taking them out of beta and that they're changing names to idea pins. And surprisingly, most social media platforms don't tell you specifically anything about the algorithm. They'll give you sort of hints here or there, but Pinterest has publicly stated to its creators, marketing folks like myself, that they are really wanting at least one idea pin a month for you to be a serious creator and to actually get traction. What that means is if you do an idea pin and then you don't do anything for 6 months, you're not really going to get as much traction as the people who are doing at least one idea pin a month. Now, I recommend doing one idea pin a week to my students, but don't let that scare you because it's not as much work as you think. And many of my students, all of them mostly, take that idea pin and they create a reel with it, or they create a TikTok with it, or they create a story with it, or they'll put it on IGTV. So it is, Pinterest content is the most repurposeful type of content in my mind anywhere. And every single thing that we create for Pinterest, we should be absolutely repurposing it for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. That's one thing that I teach in my membership. And I do that because we don't have time to waste, right? Marketing is hard. And so you definitely want to take advantage of these idea pins for sure. So why use idea pins? Well, they're easy to consume and people tend to take action. As I mentioned before, people tend to click on Pinterest. It's kind of how they have been trained. And idea pins should be very easy to consume. People tend to, of course, take action by clicking on them. And Pinterest's intent is for people to actually be inspired and take action on the ideas that they see on there. And it has been shown that for idea pins that really hit, your entire Pinterest site gets more analytics. So every pin, video pins, regular pins, all the things that are going to your blog post or going to purchase your product or be able to work with you and your service, everything grows by utilizing them. So when you click on them, they actually go to your profile, as I had mentioned before. And how exactly do idea pins help, or how have they helped my clients? Well, they help in three ways. One is brand awareness, super important. It's important everywhere, but it's also important on Pinterest. It increases followers, and a lot of the old thoughts from Pinterest experts was that followers are more of a vanity metric, but really that's sort of built into the algorithm moving forward that it is important. And so you do want to do things that helped to grow your following. When people click on an idea pin, they will do usually a couple things. They will usually follow you, or they'll follow the board that it was on, or they will go ahead and go to your website. Or they'll just start taking a trip down all of your boards if they're really interested in your products or services and the information that you provide, obviously quality information. But more importantly than those other two things is that there's a higher engagement on your Pinterest profile as a whole. So it boosts all the analytics. When my students first use idea pins, they see a jump in analytics. But I will say that as you're using them more and more, you may not see that instantaneous jump to your whole account, but what you will see is that your entire account has better analytics moving forward. And for idea pins, your idea pin will typically hit, and this is just right now from what I'm seeing in all of my clients, your idea pin will typically hit that sort of sweet spot in the numbers at around that 1 to 2 month mark. So anything that you get up to that point is all gravy. It's all just icing on the cake. These are just some analytics that my students have seen. This growth here is amazing for all the analytics, and that's the only change that my client made here was adding an idea pin to their account. This idea pin from one of my students got 664,000 views and 20,000 plus, because I'm sure it's gone up by now, people clicked on it and potentially started working with her and booking weddings with her. So that's pretty amazing as well. The growth is astronomical, as you can see here. And I always like to share some of that information because oftentimes, you know, proof is more believable than kind of what someone like myself says. So what are the mistakes that creators are making with these idea pins? Well, it has to do with trying to game the system. Whenever you try to work around the algorithm, you end up getting dinged for it somehow, right? So the two things that you absolutely don't want to do with idea pins, and I will cover what you do want to do and when we're creating the idea pin, but one is people usually will add a logo, or they'll take it directly from TikTok and put it on there, and that TikTok logo kind of floats around, or they'll put a website on there because there's no link. So they'll like put a link on there so that they have people as an opportunity to go, but all they have to do is click on there and then they could go to your website. So don't game the system. It not only is not effective at getting more traffic by adding a logo or website, but it also has started to harm my clients' analytics by doing that. So do not put your website or logo anywhere on these idea pins. They are meant to be consumed and not send people anywhere. They end up going to your website if they're really interested, but don't try to game the system. The second thing is spending a ton of time creating idea pins. That's not helping you in any way. You could take your reels, your IGTVs, you can take all of the content that you've already created and you can actually repurpose it and use it on Pinterest. And then anything you create for Pinterest, like if you did your homework and created some graphics, so we can go ahead and create an idea pin today, that content can become a reel or an IGTV or a story that you share on Instagram. Talk about sharing. If you end up finding this class valuable and you make your idea pin, I would really appreciate it if you would share that information at some point on social media and just do @Jen Vazquez coach. That would be amazing. Not required, just that I would ask. Doesn't hurt. So for idea pens, here's a couple of ideas that we've talked about with my clients. For wedding photographers, you can have the first slide be a video sort of behind the scenes. You know, everyone loves behind the scenes videos. And then you can have all of these images in all of the slides. And the last page would say something like that. Something like follow along for more inspiration, or follow along for more wedding tips, or something like that. Coaches, anytime that you write a blog post or you're giving information, like I just did a live this morning on writing, creating blog titles, and something like that will absolutely become an idea pin for me on Pinterest, right? So sharing 5 tips to XYZ is a great idea pin opportunity. And then if you're like a jeweler, well, I have a jewelry client, you can show maybe how to clean your jewelry. And if someone's getting valuable information like that, and then they know that you're a jeweler, oftentimes they'll check out your jewelry while you're there. So these are just a couple ways that clients have utilized idea pins, and I thought I would share because that always helps to know. So I am going to be walking you through all this, but I definitely wanted to give you sort of an overall picture. In order to, in the homework, it would show you kind of that you want to apply for idea pins if you don't have access right now. You're going to go to the create button on the top left of your Pinterest. And this is a great opportunity for you to open Pinterest because we are going to be working on these idea pins very, very shortly. So you would click on content, or excuse me, create, and then create an idea pin. Choose up to 20 images or videos. You can drag and drop them, super easy. You're going to use the tools on the right side of Pinterest screen to either create the layout or adjust the layout or add text, which I recommend on the first page for sure. Again, my training today and how I'm going to be teaching you to do an idea pin is first and foremost to save the most amount of time and get the most impact. So this is how you do it, but I'm going to show you the way that I do it to be kind of quick. 4 would be selecting the detailed theme from the drop-down menu, adding details to the pins, all of this that I'm going to show you. Fill out the information about your pin, the title, the board tag, topics, all that kind of stuff, and then click publish. And again, in my membership, my students create these weekly. So it can't be that hard or they would not be doing that. I can promise you, because they do not have time. All right, so Tailwind is a third-party platform that helps you to release pins slowly over time. You can do it all in Pinterest. You don't have to have a third-party platform that helps you to post. However, all my students have Tailwind because it is that helpful and that effective. And today you guys will have a free trial if you go to Jen Vazquez Coach, and make sure I have 2 Z's in my last name just in case people miss that. JenVazquezCoach.com/Tailwind trial. And on there, you can go ahead and download. You get, I think it's a free month or 100 pins to try it out and see what it's all about. In March of 2020, Tailwind, which is a third-party platform, released, and I spelled that wrong, forgive me, some stats on idea pins and video pins, which I thought were really incredible. So this was on February and March content, and they released this information in March. They found that story pins, which are now called idea pins, got 41 times better engagement than any other type of pin on Pinterest. 41 times. That's insane. And we all need to be on there doing it. It's very much like Reels on Instagram. You kind of just have to do that if you want to increase all your analytics. Video pins got 8 times better engagement than regular pins, which again is insane, but not unusual because video is really king right now. And we are really, really moving over to more video everywhere. So don't be surprised by that. Evan Sharp, co-founder, chief design and creative officer of Pinterest, said, "We believe the best inspiration comes from people who are fueled by their passions and want to bring positivity and creativity in the world. With idea pins, creators are empowered to share their passion and inspire and grow their audiences." Point blank, they want you to use them, so we need to use them. I know a lot of people find Pinterest very difficult and or time consuming or not effective. And every single one of my clients says that until they work with me. My students actually spend about an hour a week on Pinterest, between 1 and 2 hours. Obviously, when you first get started, it is a little bit longer because you are kind of ramping up your knowledge. But in terms of like Instagram, for me, I spend way more time on there, and the content that you create anywhere can also be really great on Pinterest and vice versa. So repurposing is a core value in the strategy that I teach my students. So Pinterest Strategy Academy is my group coaching membership. And it includes a live, because I think live coaching is the best, and it's the ability to ask me questions about your business and your strategy. So we've got weekly Q&A sessions. We've got weekly live pinning sessions, monthly masterminds where we dive deep into a topic or content, and that's usually brought up by my students. Access to all the replays of stuff that's gone before you even joined, and the accountability, the ability to request what my students need for the next training, and also the access to me for strategy is really what I hear my clients, my group coaching clients, love the most. The ability to hear something from another expert or see something and come on a Q&A session or a pinning session and say, "I heard this, is it true?" Or "I heard this, how do I do that?" Or "You know my strategy, Jen, how do I incorporate this new thing into my strategy?" So my whole marketing strategy from my corporate days all the way through running a wedding photography business for 10 years till now, you get access to all of that every single week, twice a week, Q&A sessions and pinning sessions live. And I don't anticipate that really ever changing, because I feel like that's way more effective than any kind of course. And you can also sign up and stop at any time. There is no time commitment. The price is going to $63 a month on August 1st. So I'm doing this live session because I wanted to get to as many people as possible to let them know that they can sign up at only $58 a month if they do so right away. I, of course, have an annual option, which a lot of my students end up choosing because it ends up only being $38 a month, which is more affordable, right? If you sort of pay up front. And any students that sign up for the annual get a one-on-one strategy call with me. And the first 6 people that sign up for the Pinterest Strategy Academy also gets a strategy call. And just as a heads up, if you want more information and or you say, "Oh my gosh, I want to sign up because I want that strategy call," which, you know, you have that 1 month, you do the strategy call and then you quit. If that's what you want to do, that's totally up to you. I am very above board and honest on all this stuff. But all you have to do is type PSA for Pinterest Strategy Academy in my DMs on Instagram, and you'll get that information and you'll get the link to sign up. So just for you to know that. And I'm going to get to questions in just 1 second. Here are some client testimonials. And yes, I did work with Social Squares. If anyone is knowledgeable about Social Squares, I worked with them, consulting with them for 6 weeks on their marketing and Pinterest strategy for Pinterest. And in 6 weeks, they went from 500,000 monthly views to over 1 million in just 6 weeks. Now, I'm going to tell you that a lot of my clients see some great analytic growth right away. And that's usually because you're giving love to your Pinterest account, right? And you have a really smart strategy on how to go about working on Pinterest. But it does take time. Pinterest is a long game. You're going to see your pins between that 2 and 3 mark, 2 to 3 month mark hit their stride. Some of my most effective pins, or my top pins, are from like 5 and 6 years ago. So they stay around for a long time. Okay, so questions. I'm going to go into the chat and ask questions. At this point, make sure you have your Pinterest account open and your Canva account open, and or the graphics that you saved, whether you did that in Canva in the free template that I gave you in the homework assignment or not. But I'm going to go ahead and go at this point and see if I have any questions while I'm in here. So let's see, Linda, Kelly, Christina, yeah. Oh, Kelly, you did claim your website too, amazing. Delia also did, and Christina. Excellent on you guys claiming your account. That is really impressive because I don't hear that often. And also Emily, and great advice. Train the corners and the yeah, Henry. Gaming the system does not always work. I've tried it all and it never works. So just don't even mess around. Let's see. You're brand new to Pinterest, just got a business account 2 weeks ago. So hearing only that expensive, yay! Yes. Henry, you only had to spend 1 or 2 hours a week. And honestly, sometimes I'll spend less than that. So it's possible. Linda, she's not kidding. That's how much time I've been putting into it for a year now. Yeah. And you know, Linda has done an incredible job. She got to the first page on her Google search for her wedding photography business. So, and Pinterest helped to do that. Same with blogging as well, because doing blogs helps Google Analytics. But if you ever go to Google and do a search, Pinterest is always on that first page if you do a search. Oh, and Emily, thank you so much. The group, that's very, very sweet of you. Okay, so Emily's asking a question too about the cover. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go ahead and create an idea pin. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. I am going to go and share my Pinterest. Let me get over here, close this out. Okay. So I want to see in the comments who has graphics, who did their homework, because I don't even want to go through this if we don't have people that have gone through the homework necessarily, or I won't go slow. I'll go through kind of what it entails. But put a Y in the comments if you did the homework and you have graphics to create an idea pin right now. I would love to hear that. Yay, LaRonda, you did, good job. So did Emily, yay, okay. All right, so I gave you guys a template. This is not the template that I gave you guys to use, but it's this one that I'm using. And if you'll notice down here, I have, you want to have 10 tips or 5 tips that are going on 2 pages. That's part of what the homework was. And then on the first page, here's the title that I have, but I'm going to remove this title. I'm copying it because I'm going to use it when I go into Pinterest in a second. So if you have a title on your first page, copy it right now so that you can paste it into Pinterest. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I got your cute faces in my way. I'm going to go ahead and download it by clicking that arrow up there. And I'm going to go ahead and do PNG files and click download so that this template is going to download. If you've already downloaded, you don't need to. But if you downloaded it and there's a title on it, take the title off and then download it again. I am going to go ahead and click here for my downloads. It always downloads Canva. Can you guys see my download window? I'm assuming you can. hopefully. You go to your downloads, you're gonna click on the file that you need to open up. For me, it's my idea pen file, and here are all my graphics. So now I'm going to click onto Pinterest. Give me a Y in the chat if you can see my Pinterest page, because I don't want to confuse you if you can't see it. Okay, perfect. So everyone's going to go up here to the top left of Pinterest, and you're going to click that create button, and you're going to click create idea pins. Now, if you see a little notification that says apply for pins, depending on where you are in the world, you need to apply to them first. Sometimes they'll approve that within an hour or two. Sometimes it takes a couple days. So if you didn't or weren't able to apply for idea pins right away, you will have to do this process after. But once you apply and you have them, you've got them for good, which is great. And up here is a window that says you can add up to 20 images or videos. Now, I will say it is way better to have a video as your first page. We all aren't able to do that all the time. It is not always possible. If you have, excuse me, if you have a reel on something that you're talking about, you can upload that reel for that first slide, and then on the other slides have all of your tips if you want, or you can film a video saying, hey, I'm so excited you're here to find out all my tips. Just film it real quick on your cell phone and upload it. Like it's literally not that hard. But for today's purpose, I am not doing that. I am just doing the slides that I provided for you in an effort to save time. So I'm highlighting all of the graphics, and I am sliding it onto like a drag and drop style into Pinterest. Sometimes it does not go in order. So you may need to, and it did not go in order, because that would be convenient, right? If it went in order, and it's not always going to be convenient. So let's see. Oh, no, maybe it did. It did go in order. I lied. Okay, just this is that opportunity for you to check and make sure that it's in that order. Now, remember, I took away the title that I had on that graphic for the first page. I am now going to put it on this page. And the reason for that is Pinterest really wants us to use the platform and its tools. And you're going to get an extra oomph of analytic juice to jump those analytics by using their platform with their options and tools. Same is true for Instagram. So on the top right, you're going to click on text up here, and then you're going to find where that text is, and you're going to paste the information that I had before. And it comes in, it usually comes in white, so don't be worried. That happens a lot. I like to adjust it. You want to make sure that when you create these graphics, that you really have a nice big gutter around the outside and the bottom, because sometimes it kind of squeezes it in a little bit, and you want to make sure you have plenty of room for all of your text. So go ahead, and you don't want to go, do you see where that, how it's gray, dark gray on the top and the bottom? You want to stay within those bounds as well. So I'm taking this, the text is white, you can't see it, and it's a little big. So I'm going to come over here to the right side where it says font size, and I'm going to just take it down just a smidge. I also am going to go ahead and see what that looks like. That doesn't look so bad, right? Let's see. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can change the color. I can do my pink. You can add in here, you can add all of your branding colors, which is great for brands, right? I can then just leave it pink. I can do all kinds of stuff. I really do like how it's highlighted. Those idea pens tend to do better. Not sure why, don't really care. I just do what works. So I would recommend highlighting it. So we've got that right there. Then we're going to hit that red button on the bottom right that says next. So we've got all 13 in here. You can see that by over here on the top left, it has the big 13. Then you're going to, it automatically takes the title, which is great. I just leave it alone. Or it says use idea pin title. Oh yeah, it is required. Or you can probably change it around, like Pinterest does not take too much time. And maybe I'll even do unpopular opinion. Because that usually gets people's interest piqued. We have a title on here. I like to do a little different title on the actual title. That's some of the tips that you would learn in the membership. You're going to pick what board it's going on. It automatically kind of picked for me, which was brilliant. But you can also put it on a different board if you want. But you want to put these idea pins on the board that makes the most sense. Now, every business should have a business board with their name. I have a Jen Vazquez marketing strategist board. I'm not putting this on my marketing strategist board because you want it to go on the board that makes the most sense. Pinterest tips and tricks for this idea pin make the most sense. So if you are doing a wedding and it's a summer wedding on the beach, then you want to pin it to a beach or a summer wedding board, not your own business board. Even though you want to pin it there, I'm telling you, it's best to pin it to the board that makes sense to get the most analytics. Next, we're going to be going to tagging. Don't get frustrated here. I always get frustrated, but don't get frustrated. They don't have as many tags as we think they should have. Now, here's the other thing. We don't want to use industry specific terms. We don't want to call it an e-session, which is an engagement session if you're a photographer. Some people refer to them as e-sessions. Clients don't know that. They don't get it. They're not searching for it. So don't use industry specific tags. In here, since this is marketing, I'm going to try marketing. I'm just going to pick the tag marketing. I'm going to do maybe online marketing. You're going to pick, oh, not starting a business. That doesn't work. How about content marketing? Content marketing. Yes, Linda. Yes. This is a switch within the last couple weeks to making sure it goes to the most appropriate board. It's something I'll be covering on Thursday's pinning session. And you want to have at least 4, but you want to add as many as you possibly can. So let's do marketing. And by the way, as I'm typing on this, this is not all that's there. If you scroll up, there's more. Oh, I know that makes so much sense, but it doesn't. I don't know why they don't make that real clear. Marketing tools. I'm gonna say small business marketing. I'm going to business marketing. You want to add as many as makes sense. Do that one too. Allow people to comment. It's automatically set up that way. However, it's a great thing to make sure that's on. I don't know why you wouldn't want to comment. I think that would be silly. Comments and anything that they do, if they comment, if they like, if they save, or if they go and click on it to go to your profile, all of that's engagement. All of that counts for analytics. Next, you're going to click add list. And the options are ingredients, that's only for a recipe. Supplies, that's only for art projects. So if you are like Momental, you guys do beautiful stationery. So you might do supplies if you were teaching them to do their own, which you're not. So you probably wouldn't want to use it. Always use the notes function unless it makes sense. In the notes section, you do not want to give away everything that is on each of these slides. You just don't. What you want to do is encourage them to click or click through. So learn how Pinterest doesn't take too much time and how effective it is for marketing your small business. I share how to use Pinterest for marketing, and also share my membership to ask me personally any questions you may have. I always end it with my company name, not my website, my company name. If you're a wedding photographer, if you're a wedding photographer, I would say Jen Vazquez. On my wedding photography, I would say Jen Vazquez, wedding photographer. I would actually go to the extent, if you work a specific area, to say Jen Vazquez, Bay Area wedding photographer, right? Put whatever. So I'm going to say marketing and Pinterest strategist. So put your business name, but also any things that help. Do not use your website address. Do not use hashtags, none of that. Then you're going to say publish. It's warming up the pin machine, and it can take a little while, especially if you have a video. And as soon as it pops up, and there it is. And as you click through, you find all the different slides and all the different information, and every single click to get through this idea pin is giving me analytics. It's giving me engagement. It's gonna give me way more love. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to gallery view. If you have any questions, or you're stuck in any way, or you have questions about the Pinterest Strategy Academy, any of that, pop on, or if you're shy, go ahead and unmute and let me know, because I'm super happy to take questions right now and make sure you guys understand how to use idea pins. So any questions? And then just as a heads up again, if you type, thanks to Henry Chen, if you type Pacific Strategy Academy, PSA, in my Instagram DMs, you'll get the information and where you can sign up for the Pinterest Strategy Academy group coaching. No questions. I'll be so excited if no one has questions. Yes, it is a good tip on using their tool. Instagram is the same. You want to use polls, you want to use questions, you want to use everything that they have to offer because they want you to. The analytics, or the algorithm wants you to do that. Okay, Henry, what is your question? Hi, oh, my sweet friend. I'm going to get you on Pinterest whether you want to or not.
Well, I'm going to take a few shortcuts, not a shortcut, I should say, but accelerate things with your help from both, the membership, but also your actual help as well with the Done For You Too. But I was wondering, because you had those beautiful graphics with, like the laptop and the phone. And I know depending on our specialty, it's going to be different types of graphics. So in your Pinterest strategy, do you also cover how to go about, of course, creating graphics if you don't have any, and certainly, for me with video, how to incorporate that effectively as well? So
yes, so in the Pinterest Strategy Academy, I have a whole section on templates, and I was doing 10 free templates every single month for like several months in this Pinterest strategy, so you can utilize those. Also, we had a couple masterminds, at least one, I think, on Canva and how to use Canva, and utilizing the different graphics that they have in Canva on there that helps to share your, like, what you do. They have amazing cell phone graphics, and you can insert graphics, like images on there to more accurately share what you do and how you do it. And everyone will have questions here or there, or like my students will come on to a Q&A session and say, I'm frustrated with this, or I'm confused on how I can get this across. And we'll go over that strategy for them right on the call live. I have been known to open my screen share and go do research for them and share them how you do research to find out what best works on Google, what best works on Pinterest, and things like that.
Oh, amazing. No, that's incredible, especially since for the price that you're charging, all the value you're giving for that. And I related to that, and I apologize I missed this earlier, Jen, but for the coaching calls, what time are they at? Are they flexible?
Yeah.
Recorded?
So
Like
that is an amazing question. I always forget to cover that, so I appreciate you asking. They are on Mondays, the Q&A calls, which have a theme to them. Near the first of the month, we go over analytics, because everyone should know what their analytics are, and I help to interpret them for them and their business. So we have analytics on some of the Q&A sessions, or hot seats where we go over your Pinterest account. That's Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's recorded and available for you to watch afterwards, like as a replay. On Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we also have the pinning sessions, where we spend an hour working on pinning, where I'm there to help if there's any questions, but also people that are like more experienced, like Linda and Emily, they will sometimes utilize that time as an accountability to get a blog post done, so that they have more things to pin. So it can be a marketing kind of power hour at the same time. And then on Fridays, once a month, the last Friday of the month at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, are our masterminds, which are part learning, part workshop, just like you guys got to see today. This is the type of thing I do for the monthly masterminds. And again, all are recorded, all are accessible by the students afterwards.
amazing. Well, I'm sure, I'm the newbie here, right? Especially since you've been talking about, especially with Clubhouse, and also I finally got an account. So I claimed the name, and also, getting some pins on there. And I'm super excited because I'm guessing what type of like industries you have already in your membership, like wedding pros.
Great question. I've got 11 people in the membership right now, maybe 12 people. Wedding makeup, 2 wedding photographers, a show it website designer, a person who teaches on doing courses, a person who teaches on accountability and mindset, a person who is a wedding photographer and a mindset coach, a person who is she sells products that are all fair trade and made by third world countries and things to help stimulate their economy. We have like all kinds. And I've worked with clients that are an attorney. I work with a jeweler, a bunch of different people. My personal experience is all in service-based businesses, but I have now for the last 4 years worked with so many people that have products that I'm also really well versed in that area as well.
No, that's awesome, because then I'm sure we can, the beauty of having a group is you can utilize sort of what you learn from each other, right? And even especially outside of your niche or your specialty.
Yeah, the biggest confusion or frustration with Pinterest for service-based businesses is to get the right clients in their area. So we do spend a lot of time on making sure that we're going over keywords and area-specific keywords, and not just the keywords that we use or we assume our people are using, but actually doing the research and showing you how to do the research to find the actual keywords that people are using and that are effective and will get you found.
Amazing. And then with the membership, as far as like getting access to you outside of the coaching days on Mondays and such, and I know we want to respect your time, otherwise you'll be busy 24/7, but yeah, is there like a Facebook group, or is it more just message, email you, or how does that work?
We do have a private Facebook group. People have private messaged me. At some point when it grows to a certain place that's not possible, that may not be possible. But I also have an option for a VIP membership that includes a one-on-one strategy call every month. And for those students, and that's, I believe, $90 a month, and those students have access to me via Voxer. So they can ask questions at any time, and I answer them when I have time as well, within 24 hours. And that's really more sort of one-on-one coaching VIP membership.
Yeah, well, that's a great value already, but also for the price you're providing. Well, yeah, I'm gonna definitely and I love when you said like 1 to 2 hours per week, because schedule that in, and certainly I'm sure that all the work that your students have put in already, they still see the results from like years from now, months, like Linda.
Yes, and the fact that everything that we create and use and strategize about for Pinterest, we also can cross promote and use on Instagram. So it actually lightens their Instagram work as well. So that's a side benefit.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, as other students or attendees have questions.
Yes. I'll look. Thank you so much for asking, Henry. Dahlia, let's see. I'll be using this for my blog, but I'm curious to see if I can use it for my podcast as well. So yes. The other thing I forgot to say, which is super important, and I'm embarrassed that I didn't do this, let me share, because this is also something that I think is really important on sharing. So I'm going to share my screen in here. So if I go back here, I'm putting my title back on here. I am then going to save it as an MP4 video. And if you click on each page, so right now it's at 29 seconds, you can click on each page and put it at a second or varying amounts on here. And then you can download it and use it as a reel, use it as IGTV, use it as on stories, and also pin this video in addition to Pinterest. And if these tips were about a website, so this is about my Pinterest Strategy Academy, this video will have a link directly to sign up for my Pinterest Strategy Academy. So you're not just making an idea pin when you make an idea pin, but you are also making a video pin that you can utilize on Instagram, as well as using the video on Pinterest. And I forgot to point that out, and I think that's super important. I also have a podcast and a YouTube video, and I have pins, templates that I've created, which are also in the membership for YouTube videos and for podcasts, using either images of yourself with headphones on or picking cute headphones in Canva, and you make these templates so that every episode you have for a podcast or every release of a video has a pin that goes with it. And then you pin those to the different boards that make sense, including your board on podcasts and your board on YouTube videos. So like you, Henry, have a huge YouTube channel. You should have a YouTube board, but when you make this pin with your latest YouTube artwork, you use the same artwork that you create a thumbnail with. So it makes it super easy. You're not reinventing the wheel. Then you can take those pins and you can pin it to your business board, as well as your YouTube board, as well as any other boards like IG automation or whatever that focus for that video is on. So yes, 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 yes. You want to pin everything that you do all over Pinterest, not just, your blogs. I hope that answered that question. If you have more of a question than that, or if I did not answer, please let me know. And especially if I didn't pronounce your name, Dahlia, correctly, let me know that too. Linda, invest in branding, photo shoot, and you have a ton of content. Yes, yes. I'm a wedding photographer and a branding photographer. So of course, branding photos are super important. They make making pins and content for Instagram super easy. So you want to invest in that too. I'm gonna have to create an account for my podcast. Dahlia, I don't know if it depends on your business. If you're able to unmute and talk to me, that would be great. So I can give more strategy one-on-one to you right now. But if your podcast has to do with your business or it's related in some fashion, you can use the same Pinterest account for those pins. You just have a separate board for it versus running two Pinterest accounts. Are you able to unmute right now?
I am, and it's completely not related at all. So
Okay,
that's why.
no,
Yeah.
perfect. So that's a great question, because if it's not related, like I do Pinterest and marketing strategy, as well as branding and wedding photography, and I have 2 separate Pinterest accounts, as you should. So yes, if it's not related, you definitely want a separate Pinterest account. And then you just want to be like, if you're able to, or you want to join the group coaching, this is an opportunity to ask all the students as well as myself, what kind of things would you be searching for? What other boards can I use to put on my Pinterest or my podcast Pinterest account instead of just a podcast board? All of those kinds of things. Oh, you signed up. Yay! I'm so excited to welcome you as a student. And because you're one of the first people that signed up, you get a one-on-one strategy call. I recommend waiting a couple of months so that you can get through all of this getting on board situation, and then we can really dive into your strategy for both businesses. I'm so excited. Any other questions before I call it? We're at about the hour mark, and I definitely want to honor everyone's time here, but I want to make sure I don't miss any questions. So any other questions?
I had 2 quick ones, Janet. That's okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Would you say, you know, pins or graphics with faces, ourselves, of course, as Linda mentioned, investing in branding shoot, do they tend to do better with click-throughs versus in general, that is, and that's a very general question.
Great question, great question. So here's a perfect example. Wedding photographers have gorgeous images, right? So we want to put all these pins of all of our gorgeous images on Pinterest. And that's helpful. That gets inspiration, gets impressions, gets some engagements, but they can also end up on a 16-year-old future wedding board they're not going to be hiring you today, right? Or for the next several years. So my recommendation always is pin those beautiful inspirational images that also create some engagement, but also you want to have text overlay. The pins that tend to do the best are the pins that tell you exactly what people are going to find if they click. So for you, you have a blog post that it's about IG automation, right? You don't just want an image of your cute little face and that's it, right? You want to say something like, on here, you're going to find a video where I describe the 3 reasons why you want to start using IG automation, or what will benefit your business with IG automation. You want to create that FOMO. You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver, because Pinterest knows when someone clicks on a pin, goes to that content, doesn't really like it, and then goes back to Pinterest. That's a signal to Pinterest that maybe you're not saying what you're delivering, right? You're under promising or you're over promising and under delivering, and you don't want that. So you want to tell people what they'll find when they click on it in that text overlay, and also in your description and your title as well.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that. Yeah. And the other quick thing was, could you remind me and all of us probably the time sensitive offer? Was it August 8th or 3rd?
Oh, good question. August 1st, it expires. So anytime before August 1st, and I'll probably have some leeway up until the 1st for those that are getting paid on the 1st. You can definitely sign up, but the first 6 people will get a free one-on-one strategy like Dahlia. And, or if you sign up with an annual subscription, then you'll also get a one-on-one strategy. So that's the time sensitivity. It's the first 6 people that sign up.
That's this Sunday, right?
Yes.
Oh. And do you have a coaching call this Monday on the 2nd?
I have a pinning session on Thursday. So Dahlia just signed up. So she'll be invited on Thursday. And what's going to happen on Thursday is I'll ask everyone what they're working on that day, because that's sort of the accountability piece that I'm offering for the pinning sessions. They'll get to work, and then I will take Dahlia on the back end of the system and show her all the things and where to go first and what to do first, so that you're not like overwhelmed when you first pop in there. There's a lot of information, so it'll be like a little I don't know, what is it called when you start a new job and you get a education on the company and all that kind of stuff? I'll be doing that.
Orientation,
Thank you. I
onboarding,
can remember that word, orientation. I will be giving her a nice little orientation.
Well, thanks so much for all of this, Jen, and I'm
I
super excited to get
appreciate
started
it.
too. So thanks for
And
the
I
accountability to me.
appreciate your help with the IG automation and making it so easy for people to sign up for this master class. And if you guys are looking for IG automation, Henry is your guy. Period. The end. Okay. Have a great day. If you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in my DMs. I'm happy to answer. And I will talk to you later. Bye.